We're introduced to Miko Yatsuya. As she brushes her teeth in the bathroom, she notices a glimpse of a handprint on the mirror. Panic sets in as she quickly wipes it away. At school, she meets her friend Hana Yurikawa, and they chat excitedly about their day. Suddenly, a girl appears out of nowhere, rudely interrupting their conversation. The girl looks Miko dead in her eyes but continues to walk. During class, Miko's attention drifts outside to the field where she sees a ball rolling aimlessly. She brushes it off and continues with her lesson. Eventually, the day ends and Miko walks home with Hana. However, Miko discovers that her necklace is missing. She retraces her steps back to school. She finds her keychain under the table and rushes out of the classroom. As she leaves school, rain starts to pour down heavily. Hana sends her a message, asking whether she has arrived home. Miko takes a selfie, but Miko's phone starts to malfunction. Suddenly, a creepy figure appears in front of her and asks if she can see him, but Miko pretends not to see it. The ghost eventually walks away. When she finally arrives home, she begins brushing her teeth to maintain her perfect smile, but she sees a ghostly figure in the mirror. Fear grips her as she hopes for the ghost to disappear, but the creature remains. She heads to the kitchen to get some salt, hoping it will get rid of the ghost. Miko tosses it in a bowl and places it in her room, hoping the spirit will leave her alone. She falls asleep. In the middle of the night, she feels something moving underneath her blanket and sees a ghost. When she wakes up the next morning, she doesn't see the ghost anywhere, but she's wrong. The ghost appears to her again at school, and Miko realizes that she's the only one who can see it. Miko tries to remain calm, but the ghost's presence sends chills down her spine. Finally, the ghost disappears. The girls are changing their clothes for PE class, but Hana's heart races as she approaches her locker. She watched a terrifying ghost movie and is now paralyzed with fear. She begs Miko to open her locker for her. Miko obliges and swings the locker door open. Nothing is inside. Hana is relieved, but Miko's eyes widen as she spots a ghost. Hana's voice trembles as she asks for help once more. Her phone is out of reach, and she can't bring herself to grab it. Miko retrieves the phone from the ghost's mouth. They both make their way to the classroom. Hana tries to grab her book from under the table, but a ghost cuddles her. Miko tries to help her friend by pushing her desk away from her, but it only makes it angrier, and Miko insists that they go to the infirmary. The ghost follows them, but Miko thinks hard about how to get rid of it. She grabs the disinfectant and sprays Hana, causing the ghost to react. The caretaker arrives, and the ghost attaches to her instead. Finally, it seems like they're safe. After school, Miko and Hana decide to buy a snack. Miko checks her phone while waiting in line, but she notices that there are 2 lines and that she's in the one with the ghosts. Hana grabs her arm, and Miko breathes a sigh of relief. Later, they find an abandoned kitten, but a ghost is guarding it. They upload the picture to social media to find an adopter, but a thug is lurking in the shadows. A young man offers to adopt the kitten, but Miko sees evil spirits around him and thinks he's dangerous. The man leaves, and the thug is still there. Miko quickly gives the cat to him. It turns out he has holy cat spirits around him. The following day, Miko rushes out of her house to try and find some praying beads to ward off the spirits. As she sits on the bus, she looks around nervously, scanning for any signs of a ghost. Suddenly, a new passenger appears in front of her. The passenger transforms into a ghastly figure and moves closer to Miko. She tries to remain calm, hoping the ghost doesn't notice her. Eventually, the bus arrives at her destination and Miko reaches for the button to stop the bus, but the ghost blocks it. Ignoring the ghost, she pushes the button with all her might. The ghost disappears, leaving her shaken and scared. She makes her way to a cafe to wait for her friend Hana. While sitting at the cafe, Miko sees a man being harassed by a female ghost. The man, however, thinks that Miko is flirting with him. The ghost becomes angry and approaches Miko, accusing her of trying to steal the man's affections. Miko is frightened and doesn't know what to do. In a desperate attempt to distract the ghost, she plays a video of muscled men and pretends to be interested in them. The ghost, realizing that the man is not her type, disappears. Finally, Hana arrives and the 2 of them walk out of the cafe. Miko buys 4 praying beads and gives 2 of them to Hana, who is always followed by ghosts. Hana invites Miko to buy snacks and walk through a narrow alley, but Miko is hesitant because of the ghosts in the alley. As they walk, Miko notices that the praying beads are quite useful in guarding off the ghosts, except for one huge ghost that is not affected. Suddenly, the beads are destroyed and Miko is forced to pass the ghost alone. Miko and Hana go to a shaman to buy new praying beads. The shaman thinks Miko is just following a trend and selects some beads randomly. However, when Miko puts them on, they are immediately destroyed. The shaman sees a dark figure standing behind Miko and realizes that the big ghost has followed her. The shaman picks up her sealed powerful praying beads and hands them to Miko. But when Miko puts them on, they too are destroyed by the ghost. Miko and Hana come back empty-handed. At night, Miko and her brother settle onto the couch, ready to watch a horror series. Miko gets up to grab some drinks. She inserts the coin into the vending machine, but she accidentally drops the coin onto the floor. When she bends down to pick it up, she sees a small old figure before her. She can't help feeling a sense of wonder and awe. Miko stands up, pretending to roll her coins and pick them up. But then she sees another, much larger ghost lurking in the shadows. This ghost doesn't look friendly at all, and Miko can tell that it wants to catch her. She tries to pick up her coin, but she's too terrified to move. Suddenly, a crow swoops down and snatches the coin from the ground. Miko heaves a sigh of relief as the crow flies away. The next morning, Miko wakes up and heads to the kitchen to make breakfast. But when she sees a ghostly figure standing behind her father, her blood runs cold. She tries to remain calm, but her mind is going crazy. As she leaves for school, she avoids looking into her father's eyes. She takes her pudding and heads to his room. The figure that she saw was the spirit of her now deceased father. Only Miko can see him, but she pretends not to. At school, we're introduced to a girl named Nijirito Yulia, who also has the ability to see ghosts, but a bit blurry. Yulia watches the two girls from afar and is surprised to see that Miko can see ghosts as well. During PE, Yulia and Miko head to the school's storage room. Yulia shuts the door and reveals that Miko is one of the very few people who are able to see ghosts. Miko tries to play dumb, but Yulia is not fooled. She points at a small ghost and says that Miko can see it too. Miko tries to ignore it, but Yulia insists that she can do it. Suddenly, Miko sees an enormous ghost appear. Yulia, however, doesn't seem to see the ghost. Yulia shows Miko her prayer beads, but they get destroyed by the ghost. In an attempt to escape the storage room, Miko wrestles Yulia to knock her out. When Yulia wakes up at the infirmary, she sees Miko and is scared. Miko warns her to be more careful if she wants to survive. Yulia misunderstands Miko's warning and thinks that she is being threatened. On her way home, she sees a ghost sitting on the crossing stairs. She tries to ignore it, but it grabs her hand. It turns out to be an old woman, and Yulia takes her to her home. The daughter of the old woman thanks her. Miko suddenly sees a ghost standing behind her. The ghost whispers a bunch of numbers to Yulia, who types them on her phone and shows them to the old woman. The old woman remembers something and goes inside her house to open a safe box filled with her life memories. The ghost is the old woman's husband, who thanks Yulia for helping him out and leaves her. The sun is setting as Miko and Hana's stomachs growl for a snack. But as they make their way toward their usual route, Miko sees a dangerous-looking monster. Because of this, Miko makes Hana walk a different route. The next day, Hana wakes up in her luxurious house. She enjoys a pancake breakfast and sends a picture of it to her BFF. After dressing up, she gets ready for the day. Outside, the girl can be seen being followed by the scary ghost. It notices her immense life energy and decides to use it to cook ghosts. Hana comes across a little boy crying by the entrance of a cursed old building. His dog had ran inside and he was too scared to go after it. Hana offers to help and enters the building. She wanders aimlessly until she hears a voice coming from behind a tarpaulin. Her heart races as she pulls it back, only to find the missing dog. After reuniting the dog with its owner, Hana meets up with Miko at their spot. To try and get rid of the ghost, the two enter a shrine. Miko prays for the ghost to disappear. Suddenly, two ghosts with different auras appear behind her, engaged in a fierce battle with the ghost that had been following Hana. Miko watches intently as the black ghost overpowers and destroys the other two, but is then defeated by a massive golden ghost. The golden ghost approaches Miko and speaks in its own language. It then says the words 3 left and disappears. She feels a sense of relief as the ghosts finally vanish. At school, Hana shows Miko the picture that she took yesterday. She tells her that it went viral. Mikum, however, only sees the ghosts in the image. Hana tells her that she's considering a career as a photographer. She takes a picture of Miko. In the picture, a ghost can be seen. Yulia walks up to the two. She compliments Hana for her picture and recommends the two a great spot where they can take even cooler pictures. They begin their travel, but for some reason, Miko doesn't seem to trust Yulia. The trio steps out of the bus and begins walking. They reach a scary-looking tunnel. Hana is hesitant, but Yulia tells her that there's a really cool view. In reality, the tunnel is haunted and Yulia only brought them here to test Miko's spirit powers. Inside, Miko realizes that there's a rock in her shoe and throws it away. Yulia misunderstands her and thinks that she's doing some kind of ritual. The two notice a group of ghosts who are heading in their direction. Miko convinces Hana to leave, but Yulia tells her that she shouldn't let her talent go to waste. While Miko is being surrounded by ghosts, Hana decides to take a picture of her. A humongous ghost appears in front of them. It uses its chains to draw the other ghosts closer to him. But Yulia thinks that Miko is behind all of this. Apparently, Yulia isn't able to see the huge ghost. Because of this, Miko is forced to pull the girl away from the danger. The being realizes that Miko can see it and proceeds to attack her. But she's stopped by the angelic spirits. They raise their index finger and disappear. On the bus, the three girls are sitting still. To try and cheer them on, Hana takes a selfie of them. Since Yulia has never had a friend before, she immediately sets the picture as her wallpaper. If you want to see a part 2 of this anime, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below.